Means, baby. We got a live show. Yeah, man. All right. So, let's get this thing back on track. Let's fix this. There we go. Yeah, that. We'll let some guys get in here. All right. We're gonna be packing some B here. You've seen the title, super oxygenated water, baby. 40% oxygenated water. 40% oxygen in the water. Regular bottled water is like 12%. So I'm making this video because I visited my family this weekend. Visited my parents. My uncle lives next door to them. So I get to speak to him about this machine. And I got the skinny on it, man. I got all the information on it, shit. So apparently, this machine was produced by a doctor. So there's a doctor who invented this machine that super oxygenates water for health benefits for people who are, have lung problems, oxygen levels low. I can tell you right now that this technology is now being built, and the guy's building models for the public. I'm hoping maybe next year, the year after, we'll be able to have them sold and everything. It's obviously the guy selling them. You know, I have no involvement in it. I'm just speaking about it. And my uncle apparently spoke to the person because they're friends, and they're going to be the distributors, East Coast. Now, the 40% is absolutely insane. When you think about you drinking water and it has 40% oxygen in it. And I mean, at first I was shocked. I was like, whoa, 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 40%? That's ridiculous. How could you possibly get to 40%? But they get the oxygen tester and the water tester, 40 freaking percent. Over 40, he said. Drink it down, man. Dude feels so great when he drinks it, man. It's like saving my uncle the shit. So just the health benefits, amazing. But my goal and focus is using it on the marijuana and the plants. Now I talked to him about that, and apparently that he said that's what it's made for. It's made for you drinking it and to feed the plants. So models that are coming out now, there's 100 gallon, what was it? 1,000 gallon, 50 gallon, all these different things, all these different sizes of the water it'll produce. Enough water to feed your entire garden. Now I asked him the frequency of how much he waters. He believes that it was every single time he watered the plant, he gave it some of this water. and it makes the plants absolutely freaking grow super fast. And this is being done by like you could say like experts in the grow industry. And dude, this is gonna be huge. That's all I'm saying. You heard it first from me. You guys can say that you heard it first from me. I looked up super oxygenated water machines. Some people do have stuff out there, but not like the thing that I heard. This thing was massive. Like when he did it with his arms on how big the machine was, it's a big machine, man. It's big. It's a big machine. You know, like the size of like a mini refrigerator? Something like that. The size of like one of the mini refrigerators. That's what he did with his hands. So it's a big unit. It's not anything that's like I don't know what you'd say, like a tiny thing that just bubbles it in there. No, this is a real deal shit. And he was saying this, like what it's gonna require is the oxygen tank. You gotta get the oxygen tank, and I guess they go to the hardware store to get it filled with the oxygen, right? But me with my ideas all the time, I'm always bouncing ideas off people. So I said this: those oxygen machines that they put out oxygen. I said, isn't that pure oxygen those machines put out? They put out pure oxygen, right? He's like, yeah, your grandfather had one of them. They put out pure oxygen. You can't smoke them. I'm like, okay. Like when I want a model, like I don't want to have to fuck around with an oxygen tank. I don't want to have to go and do all that shit. I want a model to where I flick a switch, it has an oxygen compressor in it, and actually just turns on and just automatically fills it up. So you never have to get the oxygen filled. Now I understand maybe they should have the oxygen machine and the oxygen tank, two separate models. Maybe some people won't want to pay it that much. But he said he's gonna tell the guy that, and I think that's an even better way of doing it. Actually having the machine be part of the unit so that you don't have to go run around trying to find oxygen, filling up with the right amount of oxygen and all that shit. But then I don't know, maybe it's a certain amount of pressure that needs to be put in this thing. But those things are on pump. So I tried looking up like super oxygenated water to see what I could find here. I mean it's talking about shit. Now look at how do you make super oxygenated water? It's gonna say a different way. For highly oxygenated water having 20 times no one else, whatever. So there's add 25 milligrams of that stuff per solution distilled water and mix for at least 2 hours. So I see how they're saying like milligrams. This thing was the gas is what this doctor was doing in his invention. And I'm telling you, it's patent pending. It's currently going through FDA approval, and we will be able to buy them. Like, sadly, not like right now, but like soon. Now, I want to see if I can get the guy to sell me one early. Or apparently, the guy that I'm friends with, he makes 100 gallons at a time. But that shit is for like sick people because he's making it for sick people. So it's like I can't just be like, hey, give me a lot of your water because I want to feed plants with it. It kind of is like an asshole move, you know what I mean? I could probably definitely get some water, but dude, I'm not going to get enough water that I actually would want. I want an endless amount of water, of this water, so I can just feed my plants an endless amount of the water. Having a little bit of water, I mean, it would be cool to try, man. To tell the truth, though, I don't know if I would drink it without having the machine because I don't want to get used to something and not have access to it. You know what I mean? But I'm really interested in wanting to drink it myself. But apparently, this is for sick people. You know what I mean? people whose oxygen levels are low. And this is it right here. This stuff's coming out soon, and again, this ain't some like bullshit thing I'm saying where you probably won't hear it anyway. Like, dude, this has nothing to do with me. Has nothing to do with me. This is someone across the country who invented something that he's a doctor who invented it. He's currently patenting it. Uh, One of my friends, who's good friends with my uncle, is friends with their wives met and became friends, and that's how they all met. And that's how he was able to get one before anyone's able to get one. And how I was able to even know about it is because they told me, and I seen it. I've seen them drinking it. I've seen the gas coming out of it. Like, dude, this shit is carbonated in oxygen. Now I know I can't say carbonated because carbonation is carbon dioxide. It's the only way I can explain it, though. Do you ever see carbonation when you open a soda? Now, it wasn't that extreme, but it's like that. You know what I mean? You'll see the bubbles coming out. Like, it's crazy, bro. And you'd think that, oh, dude, that has to be dangerous drinking that water, man. That can't be, that can't be safe. And it's like, I know, I thought the same thing too. I'm like 40%. Dude, you get into the 50, 60, 100%. 100% is pure oxygen. 100% is pure oxygen in liquid form. What would that be? Now, this is adding the gas molecules to it. You're not really drinking liquid oxygen. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to drink liquid oxygen. There's somehow the way, and the water has to be really cold. And now, when I heard this part, I was like, oh shit. So, the water is a certain temperature, like really cold. And the cold below freezing makes it so that the water molecules they form geometric patterns and shit. So this shit is forming structured water while the oxygen is pumping into it, and I believe that's what's doing it. This Doctor Genius has figured out a way creating structured water while also utilizing the ah shit, my shit's glitching out. Hopefully my thing don't fuck up, but if it does, it does. So this is like using oxygenated water. Crazy. So we're working with a cracked screen still. I gotta get this thing fixed. I don't like the idea of like giving my tablet to someone that has my grows on it. You know what I mean? All my grow content. Because obviously they're gonna go through my tablet, even if I have a password on it. And then they'll know I'm growing weed, and then they could rip or whatever. But whatever, you know. Or they could just be dicks. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like the idea of doing that, but I'm gonna have to fucking. I can put shit on the lock though and hide photos maybe. Like, it don't even matter. I like to keep my growing clandestine. You know what I mean? I don't like to. People that know me don't even know I grow, except for like a few people. It's kind of funny. Because I don't sell weed to anyone, so why would I tell anyone? They're just going to beg for weed, so fuck them. I don't want to sell it. And you know why I don't sell my weed? I don't sell my weed because I wouldn't sell my weed and then have to buy, like, worse weed. Like, I'd have to buy, like, crappy, well, less quality weed than I have that I grew myself. Why would I do that? Why would I sell better weed and then buy, like, less quality weed to smoke? It just doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? And I guess like the way I do it, like, dude, every bit of the weed I grew, man, I don't know how I smoked this much. I've run through like, whoa, dude, it's crazy, man, how much you can actually smoke through. It's kind of scary in a way. Back in the day, man, I could smoke a pound in a year. And I'm thinking about how little weed that is now. But whatever. I guess, you know, if you're pressing out a bunch of weed, you can like you can press and go through a lot of stuff. Man, another bean in this stuff. So Oxygenated water therapy. Let's read about that. Oxygenated water therapy. Therapeutic at home bath delivers bursts of oxygen. Nano bubbles gradually infuse the bath water. These powerful molecules as oxygen. See, now imagine filling the water bath up with like some of this water. Imagine just spraying yourself down with this water. Now, here's what I'm saying though. I don't know if maybe someone that's more of a botanist than me can answer this question, or maybe I could have just looked it up myself on Google. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if this water is actually oxygenated water, like that much, like 40% oxygenated water attached to the water, not just in the water, like it's attaching to the molecules of the water, because that's the only way it's going to get in your bloodstream. You know what I mean? Because the blood has to pull it out of the water, right? So it's attaching to the water. Well, if a plant or vegetable, like let's say a tomato, drinks up some of this oxygenated water, is it not going to oxygenate the tomato and increase the oxygen level in the tomato? So then when you eat the tomato, you're going to get more oxygen from the tomato. Thus, the food industry is going to like explode with this oxygenated health food. Just like I was saying in my other video when I was trying to theorize how the hell people lived so long back in like ancient times, if we're even going to like credit their claims as being legitimate. Let's say they are. Like, how were they able to do it? Maybe it was the oxygen in the water, in the air, in the fucking food, because everything was oxygenated, right? And we know that the oxygen is what really like is like helping people out. So imagine having insane oxygen levels on this planet. Yeah, you probably would live hundreds of years. You know what I mean? Because nothing would kill you unless you got in an accident, right? Or you got really sick of something, or something stupid happened to you, or you ate something stupid, right? So this is it right here. I think this is the solution that we've all been like looking for in like health and growing. Like 45 days. Do I believe it was 45 days? I don't know. That's crazy to say. You flowered the plant that I saw in 45 days. I'm telling you, the buds were fucking huge, dude. Thick. You would have never known. It looked finished. I swear it looked finished. And I'm thinking to myself, what if he didn't flower it in 45 days? And what if he just kept flowering it and finished flowering it in the 2 months? Would it have gotten even better? Like, is he thinking that it's done and it's not done? And if he just went a little longer, it would have been even better. See, now that's something that I'm going to have to ask him to try out. Like, or maybe he already did. I don't know. Because I was like, I brought up the plant thing, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's what they're doing. They're doing that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." Because they all grow weed too, and they're like, that's the first thing you think about. Feed it to a plant and see what happens. I guess they've been doing it, and like, dude, amazing results. Apparently, it just speeds up the flowering time. I don't know how that's possible. I know it speeds up growth, but like, I'm thinking this. I'm thinking maybe the buds would have been better if he went the full 2 months, and that we would have seen some shit we've never seen before. You know what I mean? He's cutting it like early, saying that this is what we would get normally. But I'm saying, dude, this might actually make some insane shit. Is it going to increase the potency level of the marijuana plant because you're giving it like 40% oxygenated fucking water? 40%. Normal water is 12, like I said. Now, I do want to see what happens when you bubble water with our air stones. I got to find out. I got to know if the air stone can match whatever this machine's doing. Because if it does, then this whole thing is a waste of money. You know what I mean? In my book. And that's the experiment I want to know. First, the things first, though, I gotta get one of the meters, and then I gotta bubble some water and find out what I get. Those fucking meters cost $100 and something bucks. Sucks. These guys have the meter, and I wish I could get them to do it to tell me, so I didn't have to waste my money. You know what I mean? Because it's like, fuck, man, that's kind of like crazy. Like, just to prove something, I've got to spend money now. just because I'm curious. It's kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. It'll be worth it instead of wasting money on an expensive machine like this will be. If the fucking bubbling the water would be, you know, comparable. But I've never heard anyone flowering a plant after bubbling the water. I could look up in Google. Maybe someone's Googled this. Maybe someone's put it out there. How much oxygen goes into water when you bubble it with an air stone? Obviously, it's going to depend on the size of the air stone. So, I mean, the figures are going to be all screwed up. But, well, I guess we'll find out the max. Maybe. Or the minimum. I don't know. But again, this oxygenated water is going to be probably some amazing shit. Now, here's what I was seeing the machines and stuff. O2 water maker. See, like, it's out there. There's people trying to do different things with this shit, if you look. OxyTap. So I gotta look this up. See, like OxyTap. I don't know what OxyTap is. Let's just go to OxyTap. Visit the site. Ah, no permission. You know why? Because I'm on a proxy. Oh well. Some sites just don't want you on there. Wow. See the oxygenated water maker? So it's like kind of like putting it in the water like that. From this thing that it was like a big machine that they were showing. And I wonder how much oxygen that can put in, you know? These are all things that um what should I look up? The highest oxygenated water. Highest oxygen to water ratio. Which water has the highest oxygen level? Water can hold more dissolved oxygen than warm water. Oh, that's why they chill it. Okay, that makes sense now. So they're chilling it because it holds more dissolved oxygen than warm water. So dissolved oxygen levels is higher in the cold environment. Okay. How much oxygen is in oxygenated water? Here we go. See, I'm getting this whole bullshit, man. I want percentages, dude. I've been trying to get this fucking shit. Sampling a variety of oxygenated waters reveal an average of about 10 ml of oxygen per 100 ml of water. So what is that? Like 10%? That's 10%, right? 10 to 100 is 10%. So correct me if I'm wrong, you know, stoner math here. Um, dude, they're getting 40%. So they're that like this is even too low. Now, dude, that guy was saying the bottled stuff was 12. My uncle, I asked him how much bottled water was testing. He said 12. So, dude, I'm telling you, 10 ml per 100 ml. If it was 50 ml per 100, it would be 50%. 10 ml to 100 is 10%. And they claim it would be less than taking an extra breath. Dude, see what I'm saying, dude? It's so low on these other ones. How do you make highly oxygenated water? Don't go up like that. What is the maximum solubility of oxygen in water? Fucking math equation. Hey, stop that. Crack screen at the top's making it drop down. Just don't want to close out the stream. All right. Solubility of pure oxygen water is 25 Celsius. Yeah, they're giving me a crazy math equation. So 1 to 18, 1 to 25. Give me percentage. So this says 300% oxygen added to it. All right, give me percentage. Okay, here we go. OxyRich is the only packaged drinking water in the world to have 300% oxygen, extra oxygen. This ensures that whoever you sip, your body is enriched with oxygen, leading to improved metabolism and high energy. Okay, this guy got to 300. I don't understand 300%. Like, I figured when you got to 100%, it was 100%. I don't understand this math. Like, the percentage should only go to 100%. Once it goes to 100, like, what do you mean 300%? Everyone's fucking weird with their math now. Like, 100 is the max. Like, what so what? 1,000%? 1,000,000%? Like, what? Like, I don't know. 100% of something, it went up 100%. But what is 100% to them? Here's the thing. They're saying 300%. So if something's 100%, like you'll say this, like, my stock just went up 100%. I doubled my money, right? You double your money. If your stock goes up 100, right? 100%, that means you doubled your money. You got all your money. 300% means your money went up 3 times, right? You got 100% of your money back 3 times in a row. That'd be 300%. So what are they talking? Like, what is the percentage you're starting with? Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, they can say it, but like, what is their where are their numbers? You know what I mean? Like, 100% oxygen should be like liquid oxygen. 100% oxygen should be like a tank full of oxygen gas. Should be 100% oxygen, and it might not even be 100%. You're gonna have other particles in there. But I guess that's because I just like go by like precise numbers. So when these people like just like shit out their numbers, it's like, dude, it's not precise technically. First of all, pure oxygen probably isn't pure oxygen. There's other shit. Secondly, uh, I would think pure oxygen would be 100%. You can't go higher than 100%, but whatever. They're talking oxygen like it's the stock market, but like once something's 100%, you shouldn't be able to go 300%. How are you adding? Like, how are you going above it? Because water molecules are like I don't know, whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. There should be only a certain amount of oxygen any water molecule can take. People should know that. You know what I mean? uh, I might have to. Oh boy. So here's the problem we're having. I got a glitched out thing. Now, I can say this: Guns and Gadgets, awesome show. You want to watch that? Great show. Tap to end your stream. See, that's I do not want it to tap that right there. That is what I do not want. How much oxygen is produced from 1 liter of water? Which has the highest oxygen content? Athletic performances with that. So this is just a quick video, just informing people that yes, this shit is real. I have spoke further with my uncle, and I'm gonna be getting one of these machines. I told him when he told me they spoke to the guy, and they're gonna be the East Coast distributors of it to help it get sold. I said, put me in on one right now. I want one of them. He goes, all right. Again, I don't know when this is gonna get done. Right now, it's going through FDA approval. Hopefully, it gets done. I noticed there's other oxygen machines, so it would suck if FDA denies it because it's just too good. You know what I mean? What does produce the most oxygen water? But you're not going to get the right answer. Dissolved oxygen. Yeah, this is interesting right here. Real cool article here. Oxygenation of irrigation water during propagation. But here's the thing, though. These guys have got to try this shit that they're talking to me about. Oh, don't screw up. Come on, guys. Let's get this down right. Oxygen survives the zoot zone essentially for healthy plants. We already know all that information. I'm not even going to bore you with reading any of this. You guys want to read it, you can pause it. All right, let's see this. There are no measures difference in root length, root mass. So these are, I don't know. Can you trust what they're saying? Everyone knows oxygen roots. So this is all scientific information. Nothing I want to read with a cracked screen. University of Florida did it. Okay, here is the trial. So this was in 2016. Irrigation of the thing. Presence of supersaturated DO in water over time. The water type was either ambient tap or oxygen water held in unpressurized. No, you want pressurized. You have to. That's another thing with this stuff. It's gotta be in a jar, in sealed jar, so the oxygen doesn't come out because the oxygen will leave the water. Let's see. Let's see. Enter two keys. Okay. Trial from then. I don't know, man. I already got the dude doing the experiments. I'm telling you. Understanding water quality. So really cool information. I figured I'd bring this out, bring this information out to people. uh, yes, this machine will be coming out. I was actually worried before. I was like, shit, am I ever gonna get one of these things? You know what I mean? I've been looking at another bullshit machine. I'm like, I don't really want to buy anything like this. I want what my uncle has, because like I know his medical record, like it medically proven that it increased his oxygen level. It's like they proved that it increases the plant's growth rate. All right, let's turn some music back on. Now, what I'm thinking about this stuff is, how much is it going to cost? And will the average person be able to afford it? I know this. My uncle, like, he gave $1,000 to help pay for it. So it's probably going to be more than 1,000. So hopefully, maybe the guy brings the price down, or I can get him to make like smaller models. I'm gonna see if I can. When I have a discussion with him, I'm gonna talk to him about making like a smaller model for like people that can't afford the big giant machines that are gonna do like 100 gallons. You know what I mean? Make an affordable one, because we're talking like this machine. Yeah, it's expensive, dude. It'll produce 100-gallon batch of this 40% oxygenated water. They got to 40, over 40. I think they're gonna go for higher than 40. And again, you measure the bottled water and you get around 12% on the oxygen leveled water. From what they've gotten with their numbers. Forget anything you've read here on the internet. I don't even know if this is disinformation on the Google or what, but yeah, it's pretty much these are pretty much the real numbers here. You know what I mean? And like his numbers make more sense. Like 40% makes more sense than 300%. You know what I mean? Like, are they saying like what's 100% water can absorb? I want to know what the 100% it can absorb before you tell me 300%, because 300% means you've gone above the max 3 times, right? So there's some discrepancies here on the internet. It's almost like secret information, like the government doesn't want you to know. And they'll give you a really difficult equation to figure out just to get like numbers you could actually use on what's the maximum amount of oxygen any oxygen molecule can hold at any given time. And you'd want to know how many oxygen molecules are in a gallon of that water. And then you could calculate a real number from that. And then when you increase it, you could know a real number. But like, dude, they made it so god dang complicated with this shit that like, dude, you realize the work that would cost that would dude, that's like a job right there. Just to what? Just to prove some numbers to yourself? Just so your brain can say, ah, I get it now. Nah, man, that's a lot of work. You think someone would have done it already? Maybe the information's out there. I just got to piece the puzzle pieces together. But again, that's kind of complicated. Like, then I got to study water. I'm pretty sure all water molecules are the same, unless the molecules can be like larger molecules attached to each other. And then what's that? Does that count as a bigger water structure? And then like that changes the amount in the gallon. Dude, there's too many factors to freaking to go over, man, with this shit. But whatever. I don't know. It's putting oxygen in the water with a tank, compressing it so that it becomes like what carbonation does, only it's oxygen. And when they measure it with the oxygen water meter tester thing, it goes above 40%. And I said, well, what did you test tap water? What did you test bottled water at? They said 12%. So those are the real numbers there. You know what I mean? You can think of bottled water. What is it? 16 ounce. What is it? 16.9 fluid ounces. What's a gallon of water? So you can go over those numbers there. Do some math there and try to figure something out. I don't know. But Again, I'll give a big update on the grows. Oh man, bro. Phew. Almost killed one of my plants. I went away. Woohoo! My best high plant. It's like a pretty big bush. I've been just growing it out. You know, obviously you'd say, what the hell? You can't grow that inside because it should have been flowered right. Yeah, well, it's going outside. But like, oh man, dude, I almost killed the freaking thing. Yeah, I went away. I thought I gave it enough water, but here's the thing though. Like, it was like it wanted CalMag, and I was like, I gave it like a nice like with the dose of CalMag it wanted. You know what I mean? And it gobbled that water up. It gobbled the water up. The deficiency, well, dude, it had the deficiency of CalMag, but then when I got back, like it was gone because it needed the CalMag. But slumped, dude. This thing was dried out like you wouldn't believe, man. I don't know what happened to the house here, my house. It got really hot inside of it. I'm like, shit, man. Maybe I should have left the window open, you know, to let the cool air in. But it should have been cold because we had some cool days, you know. Man, dude, slump bad, dude. I've never seen anything slumped like that before in my life. Like, I was like, holy crap. So I had to like water it down. The soil was so dry that it was like it had to take so much water before it got to absorb enough of it. You know how it does that? And then I had to spray down the plants. Then I had to wrap plastic around my fabric pot because I'm shit. It's fucking fabric pot. Like this thing's like it needs all the humidity. So I wrapped the bag around that, stuck it in the garage because it's cooler there. And I was like, oh shit. So then I put it outside, and I'm like, dang. So I got my tent back. I went up back up to my tent, and I like cranked that fucking humidity up. I put two humidifiers in there. I cranked that shit up, and then I stuck her back in there. And then like within like a few hours, she was back up. I was like, yes, thank God. But like, dude, that thing was like, it was like dead. Beyond, it was beyond dehydrated. Like it was like, dude, if I had gotten to it any later, dude, I don't think it would have came back. Now I don't see any initial damage yet, but I'm assuming that I'm gonna see something like a deficiency is gonna show up. Like it's gonna be hungry, so I may just do a foliar spray on her, just to help foliar feed her. Something like that would be probably a smart thing to do. The other one outside haven't really looked at yet. The transplants are doing absolutely amazing. Like they had no problems because you know the roots were still developing and stuff. But yep, they're living in a tent that like I don't know. The other one was dried out, thirsty, and they were in that with them. And yeah, you know you shouldn't mix plants, outdoors and indoor plants. Stupid move. I probably put bugs in my tent. But you know what? They're all going outside anyway. And this week I'm ordering some predator mites, and I'm gonna stick them in the tent, get them all eating on everything. Like I guarantee I probably brought something in there, but I don't know. Fuck it. I wanted to save the plants. One of the ways to do it was that like they had to go in the tent that had the normal humidity because I can't keep them in the fucking dome forever. And taking them out of the dome, it's too much of a shock. You have to do gradual shit. So I had to have like really high humidity, and I had to put them in the tent that had like kind of a good humidity that a plant would like. Before I take them out of that and put them back outside to where like, dude, the humidity could be like 35% or something low like that. And because the roots were so damaged, they weren't fucking picking up water at all. But now they are. They're looking good. I should probably do a video on them. I'm gonna start transitioning them back into the light this week, and all that jazz. Now I do have ladybugs living in my tent. I do have them, and so I had a lot of ladybug sex going on because, like I said before, this company, Nature's Good Guys, they had like 72,000 ladybugs for like 100 and something bucks. Yes, that's right, 72,000 ladybugs. But the thing was, though, I had to freaking get them quick because, dude, they sell out of them. And I don't think they produce them at those levels when it gets, like, hot out. So it's like, and it was too cold here, so I'm like, what am I going to do? Because when I ordered the mites the first time, they gave me free ladybugs. I had nothing I could do with them. I was like, I either put them outside and they die, or like I could stick them in the tent. And I was like, fuck it. I just stuck them in the tent. And I was like, I was gonna spread mites outside on my plants, which I did, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to put some mites on my plants because my plants don't have bugs. The ladybugs are gonna starve to death, dude. There's like nothing in there for them to eat. So what I did was I put the mites on my indoor plants too, and then they were able to feed off of those mites. But they were like predator mites. They eat the predator mites, so it, like then I had like a whole ecosystem of predator mites and ladybugs. So then once the predator mites died out because you know, there wasn't really anything there for them to eat, I would gradually I would take the ladybugs from the tent and I put them outside because it was in that window where it was too cold for them to go out, and it was like almost ready for them to go out. I just had to keep them in there for like a few weeks, so I was able to do that, and then get them back in the tent. And then they did so well in there that I ordered more ladybugs. I said, "Their ladybugs are freaking awesome, dude. They survived that long in my tent, and now they're on my plants, and they're just like they just want to go to cannabis, little seedlings and stuff in there in the outdoor garden. They were sticking around, and I was like, awesome. So I ordered more, put the friggin' netting over it, and it's been like that, you know. So these plants might have been pretty clean because they had the mites, they've been having ladybugs all over them, but I'm sure there's one mite that got in, and all it takes is that one, and then he's gonna make a whole fucking family in there. So believe you me, I'll be putting a lot of predator mites in there and getting more ladybugs and creating my little ecosystem. It'll be kind of funny. Clean the tent out that way. I think it's the best way to do it, dude. To tell the truth, if you've got mites, man, and now I've never combated mites with predator mites, really, but I don't know. They say they work, and I don't know. They claim they work. Why wouldn't they work? I don't know. Whatever. I've seen everything else that works that's an insect, but you know what? I have combated mites with predator mites. The outdoor plants had the mites, so I put the predator mites on them, and you've noticed they grew. Look how nice they grew, and they don't look all fucked up. Like that little scary moment in their life where I was like, holy shit, look at those leaves. That thing has been bitten up. And they were the only thing green in the fucking ground at that point. So it's like that's what they all were eating. But then those things work pretty good. I'll give it that. And they'll reproduce themselves. If they've got enough food source, they'll reproduce. Now on my patio, I get a bunch of spider mites all the time. I've got this patio. I don't know why they love to go on that patio. I am going to fucking cover that patio with spider mite, predator mites, and just eliminate the fuckers. It's gonna be awesome. This week I'm ordering them, and I've noticed that that's probably the best method to do. Is you want the predator mites early, and you can keep off all these different infestations and different things like that. You get the ladybugs in there too, and they'll have a little mite to eat, and then any aphids that come around, they'll get wiped out by the ladybugs. And then you got ants in there. You gotta get rid of the ants because ants will they will mine your plants, they'll farm your plants, and they'll take aphids and they'll bring them to your plants and farm them for the sap and the juice. Kind of crazy when you think about it. So, what else? Oh, I got some videos I'm gonna come up. I got some photo collage videos of some stuff. I'll show you one plant in a 4x4 that like maybe half the 4x4 was filled up. I had like one plant in there. I pulled all dried cut off the stalk 1.25 pounds off that one plant, dried up. And I'm gonna show that collage of that, showing it all weighed up, because I figure it's a lot easier for me to do it that way, and I can bang out a live video and go through all of this stuff than to actually edit the video and do all that bullshit and try to load in different content. And it's just so much better this way. And I like kind of more organic too, and live, and like you know what I mean. It's not scripted. This isn't scripted. I'm just like, I got the information in my head and I'm just putting it out. If I did a video like hours later, I probably would have had a slightly different video because nothing's scripted. But it would be the same content, same information. Anyone getting in late, you might have to rewind it, but just so you don't have to rewind it, I can basically tell you that I had spoken to the people, well, my uncle and my uncle's friend, who I'm friends with, they're friends with the doctor who has invented this technology, patent pending, and it will be distributed very soon. Like it's going through FDA approval, and machines are being built. As of now, machines are being constructed, and then they're gonna pass the thing, and then he's gonna be able to sell them. And then when he sells them, I'm gonna tell you who he is and how to get them, so you can buy them. And I'm gonna try to get the guy to make like an affordable version of it, so that like people don't have to spend a ton of money to have like this. Like, even if you could make one where you could make a glass a day, and that's all you need was a glass a day, he should make it. So it's maybe someone could, like, you know what I mean, have like a really cheap version instead of 100 gallons in a day. You know what I mean? I'm excited for 100 gallons in a day, dude. That is crazy. And like I said, if I could just pump the oxygen out of the air, man, I don't need to do shit now. I can just automate this shit and have my garden and outside irrigated with this shit. And if everyone does it, dude, this could change our life, man. It's pretty exciting, I think. I do think, and if maybe someone's like, oh man, like, dude, look this stuff up. I'm sure you could probably buy a couple bottles of water of this other oxygenated water. Maybe it's not as like potent, but could probably help you out till this stuff comes out. Or maybe you might even find something else and say, hey, look at this. Someone's doing it. Maybe someone that I don't know is doing it, and you get it like for a price that's you like, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna try it. Try it. I think this is the method. Like, breathing oxygen is one thing. Drinking the oxygen, that I know that helped my uncle. I know it because of his medical reports and stuff, dude. That increased his oxygen blood level like by insane amounts, and he was under treatments for different things, and like so it works. And a doctor made it, so you don't have to say, oh, some crazy person made it. Nope, this is an actual medical doctor. So that makes it even more exciting. When I heard that, I was real excited. I was like, awesome, awesome, awesome. So that means I'm not gonna get sick. You're not gonna get sick probably because the medical doctor knows. Because the other machine, if you notice, the guy said he drank too much and felt drunk. I asked my uncle straight up because he's drinking a lot of it and the 40%. I said, have you ever felt drunk? Have you ever felt make you sick? No, nothing. The only thing it makes him do is, he says if he drinks it at night, he'll never be able to go to bed. He'll be filled with so much energy, he says, that he'll never need to sleep. Like, this shit's insane what it can do to people. So now, athletes, I wonder if they're drinking it, you know what I mean? I wonder if people that run a marathon had this secret where, like, someone hands them this magic cup and they drink it while they're running the marathon, and suddenly they're like, boom, they can go another fucking 10 miles, right? I don't know, man. That like it makes me think now, like how much of this stuff was suppressed from us, and like other people were doing it, and now it's like that's kind of why I want to put these videos out, because I want everyone to know about like being able to oxygenate water, and that this technology is coming out, and that I think this might be the next level of shit. Like, I know another thing. Like, dude, if you get a steak from the store, ah, shit, you cook the steak though. See, I was gonna say if you can infuse a steak with the water that's oxygenated, then grill the steak, but then you're just gonna burn the oxygen off. So when you grill the steak, so that wouldn't work unless you were eating raw meat. But then that's kind of fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Uh vegetables though. Imagine that. Imagine okay, you're about to harvest your tomatoes. They're dry, but for that last week, you flushed the plant with oxygen water. So it just took in all that water, and now you got oxygen water in the tomato, and it's like compressed in there with the skin and stuff. So it's gonna hold it in. And you bite into that tomato or vegetable, man, that's gonna be good. It's gotta be good for better for you. I'm just thinking maybe it'll increase their mineral uptake of fish and stuff, and you'll get a better benefit from the food we eat because like chickens will have a better life and they'll absorb more nutrients, like it says that it does for people, and that when we eat them, then we'll be like get better nutrients than us. So I think it comes down to the oxygen in the water. Again, I've been trying to figure this out, and I think I have, and that's why I'm trying to make this video. Plus, I know there's people curious from my last video. I mean, I kind of just like heard about it, and I had a lot of questions I wanted to ask, and I finally asked a question, so I figured I'd tell you all the questions asked, and every everything I heard I liked. I like what I heard. Like question on, has he used it on plants? Yes, they're using it on plants. Amazing results. Um, how big the machine is? I know it's a pretty big machine, right? Um, like how many gallons of water is it doing? It's doing they're doing 100 gallons of water at a time. How much oxygen are they putting in that water? They get in their levels up to 40% oxygen, whereas a bottled water gets like 12% according to that. Like good bottled water, that should have like that shit good oxygen. Now I don't know what tap water is, nor do I know what bubbling or air stone in the water will do. I really want to know what air stone, how much it can increase, like, but I gotta see it with the meter that's testing everything else in order for that to actually make sense. Otherwise, you're just gonna get like numbers that don't even work. All right, we're gonna be taking a rip right now. I got bowl packed. I'm gonna be doing a lot of gardening today. I got tomato plants to plant. I got radishes to plant. I got beets to plant. All sorts of stuff. If I'm gonna do corn, I need knee high by July. I think. I haven't planted any. I was thinking about getting that. There's something from I believe it's Peru, and it's giant corn, and the stalks can grow as high as a telephone pole. I wanted to get that just as a joke, stick it in my parents' yard, and just not say anything, and just let it grow to the size of a telephone pole. I think that'd be funny. See what all their neighbors do. They're like, "What the hell?" Problem is, though, I mean, they get some pretty windy storms up there, and I'd probably break anyway. But it'll be kind of fun. It's like a fucking magic bean. You ever seen one of these fucking giant corn? I couldn't even believe they can grow that big. And then I was like, shit, man. Imagine making your like corn tea with some of that stuff. That would be pretty freaking awesome, actually, when you think about it. But the seeds cost so much money. It would take so much fucking corn to do it with the giant corn. Way too much corn. way, way, way too much corn, and it costs so much money, dude. I'm like 12, just like I think was it like 12 beans of the corn or like five was like $12. So a jar is gonna be a lot of money, man. Just to make a little bit of tea that you won't be able to feed a lot of plants with, like if you want to do your whole garden. But it'll be interesting as an experiment to see just how much they grow better with the giant corn tea than the regular corn tea. I don't know. Maybe the giant corn tea has some like giant enzyme in it that makes it grow big, or I don't know. It's probably in the genetics of the plant. It has no difference on the tea itself, the enzyme. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe it produces an enzyme that makes it grow really big. That's why it's a giant corn. I don't know. Ah, yes. Got Fortnite playing in the background. Hear the music. It's Fortnite. I can do different ones. Of course, I got the worst stick drift imaginable. My stick drift's pretty bad on this. I gotta get a new controller. So I'd say the show is pretty much over. I'm just dilly dallying right now, so I don't know if you guys can rewind it. You probably want to rewind it. Alright. I'm gonna pack some nice hive here. I mix this more. We'll go with beef. Here we go. I'm telling you, the weather's getting good, man. Sun has been bright at 5 in the morning. I'm tempted to throw some plants out, but again, I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer. Might be a little early for that. I put up plants early before, and it sucks when they go into flower. I'm always amazed that my plants don't go into flower just immediately anyway, just only getting like max 15 hours of light. But there's something about the sun, man. In the moon, you get moonlight. So people need to remember that the moon does add lumens to your plant. Full moons, different things like that. So obviously the color of the light too. Like I notice in winter times when it gets into sunset mode, you get a lot of reds. I did that once where I thought it was going to be all set. Let me just get this bag and I'll discuss this. I thought it was going to be all set one year. A long time ago. I was putting plants out in like the winter time. You know what I mean? And then bringing them indoors and putting them under my grow lights. Trying to like do it that way. But dude, even then, dude, still, even like it set some plants into flower because of the type of light. It was like the flowering light, like the winter light. that the sun gives off. Like I don't know. Like if you fuck up and you hit the sunset, man, that sunset will trigger it, dude. I don't know what it is about it. Like so I usually don't like moving them around anymore. You gotta be too precise with it. You know what I mean? Because a plant, it can tell when you get sunset, and then if you ever fuck up and it fucking goes dark, dude, I've done that before. I've forgotten plants in like complete darkness for 2 days. I'm like, fuck, that's fucked. Plant might look like it's vegging, like a day or two after, and then you'll see that flower just bust in. No matter how much light you give it, once you trigger the flower, you might have a delayed reaction, especially if it's something like you really fucked up by leaving it in darkness for 2 or 3 days. And then, yeah, it's pretty. But I guess you could probably force flower that way too. You have a plant that's stubborn, won't flower. Give it like a day of darkness, 2 days of darkness, and then put it back under the light. And you could probably do it because I've noticed it's fucked my shit up before if I've done that. Yeah. But I've noticed this: if you're flowering a plant in the summer, like, oh man, dude, you can get some pretty awesome buds. But you gotta bring the plants in after 12 hours every freaking day. That can be fucking too much for me, dude. Man, that's a lot of work. I like to go I like to go away a few days every once in a while. You know what I mean? I like to be out. You know what I mean? Imagine that means you can't leave your house for a certain few hours because you gotta be there to bring them in. Whole process of bringing them in is a pain in the ass. And if they're full of water or they're dry, it's easier to make move them when they're like dry, but that's tougher to move them in when they're wet. But then you don't want to water them inside, obvious reasons, humidity. So like you'd water them outside, which means you'd have to carry heavy plants inside. Yeah, I've done all that bullshit. It ain't fun. I guess if you only had to move it a little bit, but if you gotta go up flights of stairs. So I am gonna be moving my grow tent down into the sunroom actually very shortly. Uh, at that time now to where I think the sun is safe for plants now, to where you might not have to worry about them falling into flower. But I want that tent there close by to make my life easy as possible, to where I just have to move them like a few feet. You know what I mean? I don't have to fucking carry them all this fucking long distances, and it's just a pain in the ass. And I know it's a pain in the ass for the plants too because they freaking swing around when you're carrying them around and shit. If they're in flower, you know, or if they're just big, right? Or if they're little. I mean, little ones suck too because you gotta carry a bunch of little ones. You know, you try to hold a bunch and you drop one by mistake. I've done that before. That's why the best method of moving a bunch of them is you just take your time or use like a bin, stick them all in a bin, and then move the whole bin at once. Instead of dicking around trying to fill your hand with like 4 pots each, you lose your grip on one and it falls to the ground. Yeah, whatever. Just yeah, Uncle. We're doing a grow up there again, me and my uncle. So it's gonna be good. We'll see how good it comes out this year. We saw the monster I got last year. Now we got the space opened up. So I probably have like 10 times the space I had last year. Yeah, so that's good. Have that OG, ocean grown. And he is a medical patient, cannabis medical patient. He's had this plant treat so much stuff that he does. Like again, this guy had pretty bad emphysema, right? And I'm telling you, man, the dab pens cured him. Like because someone was making him like dab pens, right? He smoked that shit. It like healed his lungs like that. The pens did. But then I'm thinking, doesn't the metal in the pen's not good for you? I don't know. I guess if you get the right pen, it's like you can have a clean pen that's not going to be bad for your lungs or shit like that. But like I can see like a dabbing it. He doesn't dab out of a rig. He says that's too much for him to do. Too much for his lungs. But the little pens, apparently, they can heal you up. You know what I mean? But you probably like you want to get like no offense to the fucking the stores and stuff, but like they're putting like shit in it, like terpenes and like doing a weird commercial process to it. I'm saying if you could get a guy that just does it himself out of his house and like presses his own bud and then makes his own like distillate pen, then that's probably better because it's the clean stuff and it's not going to be cut with anything. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it helped him. And then it wasn't a total like he wasn't totally like helped from it. You know what I mean? Until this oxygen water he's been doing, which was in the past year. He's been doing it since last summer. I knew about it, right? Him doing it. So this shit, I've seen amazing improvement. Amazing improvement, dude. I'd be in my bedroom because we're neighbors. Um, he's neighbors with my parents, so when I go up there and stay with them, he's right next door. I'd always hear him hacking, coughing, and coughing pretty bad. Dude, I don't hear him coughing anymore, man. I don't hear it. I wonder if he notices. Like, I don't hear it. I don't hear it at all. He looks better. He looks more alert. Unbelievable. This is the shit right here. It's gonna be a game changer. I'm calling it. I just hope the FDA does not fuck with this guy. I hope they allow it because that's gonna be crying shame, man. It's gonna be a crying freaking shame if people can't get this. I don't know. This I could see this would help a lot of people. How many times has the FDA said no to things that can help you though? But I don't think we're gonna see that here because I think it's not really it's not hurting the medical industry. Like it's not gonna like make it so that people aren't gonna have to take drugs anymore or pills and stuff like that. It's not gonna fuck with them in the pharmaceutical industry. So I think it's good. I think it should pass. We've seen other machines that I've looked over here. Just scrolling through here, um, doing other things like yeah, other people do have different machines that say they do similar things. I don't know if it is the same. I have no idea. I don't know if this guy saw them doing it and said I can make it better and just perfected it, or if maybe he has something totally different. I have no idea. I tell you what, I'm thinking about telling my telling that guy, you know, give him like some money and say, "Can you make me 100 gallons?" Maybe he can make my own batch. You know what I mean? Again, it's just a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like depending upon people and then having to like bug them to do shit. And like, if I need it all the time, I don't like the idea of having to bug this guy all the time. I want my own, and I want to be able to do it myself. You know what I mean? I don't like to be a burden on people or do that stuff type of stuff. And I know if I get like 100 gallons or even a few jars, it's not going to be enough, and it might make my body like really want it, and then I won't be able to get it anymore. So I don't want to do that to myself either with this oxygenated water. You know what I mean? So if I did do it, I'd probably microdose, and I'd probably microdose and try to keep the jar as long as possible to extend it instead of drinking a lot at once and then not getting it again. See what I'm saying? But odds are I'm just gonna have to wait and um, and get it there. But again, I'm hoping that since he's got it being produced right now, he's saying as we speak now, different models of it are being created, and those models are what the FDA is going to have to approve because you need some for them to approve, and they can sell it. So the models are being made, and from what I'm thinking, that let's say it takes them a year to make it, and it takes like maybe another year for the FDA to approve the sale. I don't know how long it takes. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long. But and then we can get this shit. We can get, or I'm gonna get, and then I guess if people want water, I'll send them water. Like I'm hoping I can get the model that I don't have to go out and get oxygen from. Like I'd rather like have the machine make the oxygen for me using an oxygen compressor machine. I'm gonna say this: make a cheaper version for people where if someone has the oxygen machine, they can hook the machine up to it, and the computer in it like will regulate the amount that's needed in it. So then that would like lower the cost for people that already have an oxygen machine or oxygen tanks, if they can hook their own up to it, which may be what's going on here. You may hook your own up to it, I don't know, or you may purchase the tank. From what my uncle was saying, the toughest part's the tank. Oxygen tanks are they're expensive. You know what I mean? He showed me the size of the cylinder they use. It was a pretty good sized cylinder. Here's another bit of information. Shit, I should have given earlier, but I guess someone will have to listen to the whole thing and get all the information. Okay, so the cylinder of this oxygen, I would say, was like the diameter of the top, like a little larger than the diameter of the top of like a large McDonald's plastic soda top thing. You know the plastic lids? It was like a little bigger than that. Maybe even like Burger King size. You know what I'm saying? It was like that, and it went up like I'm gonna say it like 4 feet, right? 4 feet. So now I was like, okay, so how much oxygen did you use per batch from that tank? He told me one tank they got 4 batches out of it, which means it was a fourth of the tank, a quarter of the tank. So you're only using a quarter of a tank at one time to make 100 gallons of the super oxygenated water. That's not too bad. That's not too bad, right? Now you might need the tank because the compressor of the oxygen machine might not be delivering enough at the rate and pressure that's needed to do whatever this machine is doing. It might need the tank so that the tank kind of like it has a strong pressure to it to do what it needs to do to move through the machine. Because I'm sure the machine utilizes that pressure of the gas as a way for it to mechanically work. You know what I mean? For the whole thing to work, right? So obviously, right? Because then, like when you compress to carbonate stuff, you need to compress it, right? So that's what this thing's doing. It's compression, probably, right? And adding it. And then I was like this. So how long did it take? Like, how long did you have to have the machine sitting there? It was like a few hours. So that's not that bad. It's workable, man. That's pretty good. That's real good, actually. So a few hours of your life, all you have to do is waste. Um, a quarter tank of one of those oxygen tanks, right? Depending upon how big your tank is, you may even have to use less. But and then I guess you gotta get the water, right? They use this special mineral water that's supposed to be really healthy from Maine. You can get from a spring, apparently. I don't know where the spring is. I could probably get the location on that if anyone wants to drink good spring water. So it's like a mineral spring water. So that's pretty good. So it's a good water, and I don't know if the mineralization has anything to do with it, but I think maybe for the plants, this is like the secret thing that they're doing is feeding it the mineralized water. So I'm kind of like pulling secrets from like the experts right now that there are people that they find special mineral water coming from springs. They go there to collect it and then they feed their marijuana with it. Blew my mind when I heard that because that's what I'm getting from all this. You know what I mean? These people are going a step further now. They're oxygenating it, super oxygenating, and then saying that flower time was down for 45-day flower time. Yeah, it's freaking amazing. I want them to grow an autoflower with that stuff. Could you grow and flower an autoflower in 2 months? Could you cut a month off an autoflower? Could you grow and flower an autoflower in 1 month? Imagine that. 1 month, you can grow and flower an autoflower. That would be amazing if someone could do that. Maybe 2 months, if you could shave a month off. If what they're saying is true, do I believe it? I'll believe it when I see it. They have no reason to lie to me. You know what I mean? And they produced the plant, and I saw the plant. I've seen it all. You know what I mean? So it just makes sense. Like this wasn't all just taught to me at the same time. It's been gradual over like the past year, and like these are all the pieces added up. So it's not like it would have to be an elaborate lie lasting over a year. Like this stuff just wasn't like all told to me at once. So that's why I'm like, shit, this is freaking real deal. This is the real deal shit right here. Because as they're doing shit, I'm learning too. And I'm like, oh my god, like, dude, once you got the blood work, it was a wrap for me. I knew it was this is it right here. Nurses and doctors really happy about it. Really happy. Oh man, I'm really praying that we don't need a medical license to have it. Like if the FDA could say you have to have a medical license to have one. Oh man, that would suck. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to tell them that, like, dude, screw like I shouldn't say screw like people drinking it, but like, dude, make one for plants, dude. Dude, if he just makes one designed for plants only, and like you're not supposed to drink it, it's like then like what can the FDA do? I just want to feed my plants it. Like that's all I want to do. I just want to see if it works. I'm willing to try it. Now, before I go and spend all that money, I'm sure I'm gonna ask them to make me like a ton of gallons of water, and then I'm gonna feed a plant during flower that, and have another plant that doesn't have it in a separate tent or location because it might pull oxygen that's coming off of it and filling the tent. And plants leaves like CO2, so I don't want like that the plant getting the oxygen water would get the benefit of the oxygen water to the roots. But then there'd be a negative maybe from too much oxygen being in the tent. I don't know if marijuana doesn't really breathe oxygen, right? CO2 makes it better. So then the other one's not getting the oxygen to the roots, but increased oxygen to the leaf. So it would just sour the whole experiment, right? Obviously, the other one would do better. So they would have to be separated, right? And then I want to do this friggin' test to see if, in fact, this thing does flower things that quick. But I also want to see this. Like, is he just cutting it early and it just made it really, really, really awesome, really fast? And if he just flowered it even longer with this oxygenated water, it would have been even better. Now, I'm thinking the latter. I'm thinking, like, okay, acceptable. Like, you could pass it off at someone and say it's finished. But, dude, what if you actually really finished the plant and gave it the oxygen water? Like, then what does it do to the bud? What profiles is it going to increase? Because when a marijuana plant's finishing, like, it does all these different shit. Like, chemical shit changes, the smell changes, right? THC and shit, right? So is now this is a guy that tells me you gotta look at your trichomes. They have to be certain percentage of amber. So this is a guy big on that, and he's telling me it finished 45 days. So now he didn't say it was trichomes too. I mean, I asked him this. Now I got to pick his brain. Just from knowing the guy's competent. Now he's telling me the trichomes were finished. Everything was finished on this plant. 45 days. That blows my mind. I gotta try it, man. This will change the industry. Imagine the turnaround rate. 45 frigging day harvest. How many harvests could you have? This would increase people's harvests per year, correct? This would be insane. You could harvest once a month, but you could do that anyway if you worked it out and you had a lot of tents. But you could do it all with one tent now, according to this guy, or two tents. Whereas if you wanted once a month harvest, you're probably gonna need a few tents, a bunch of lights. This is a game changer. Game changer, man. How much of it's bullshit hype? How much of it's real? I've seen his reports. I've seen what it can do to a human. I've seen like it heal people. It must do shit to a fucking cannabis plant. Again, though, my only worry is, like I said before, but you're feeding this to your plant. It's going in the water. The water is gonna obviously the oxygen's gonna come out of the soil, and it's gonna oxygenate your tent. So what do? You pump it out? I guess you'd have to have a fan pumping it out. I guess you'd be breathing in oxygen in your house. Here's another thing though, like you don't want your house exploding. Like how flammable would it be? Like let's say like you have this in your tent. You have like let's say someone had a big tent, 12 plants, 5-gallon pots. I'm talking big grow. Let's say it was a room. They fill that friggin' thing up. They got oxygen machine, water maker. It's got that fucking shit making it. It's feeding the plants. You got all these plants filled. You got like 100 gallons of soil filled with oxygen water. Dude, what if you want a match in that fucking place? Is it like, is this stuff flammable? That's another thing I gotta ask him. Like, can you hold a match over that cup of water and it not explode? Like, if you drop a match in there, is it gonna explode? Like, have you tried that? Is there dangers in this? Like, has it been all like, that's what, like, you know what I mean? I know, like, liquid oxygen, like, you can't drink liquid oxygen. But, like, this, I guess, not liquid oxygen? My worry is compressing and adding that much to it could add a liquid oxygen element, but you'd have to have the pressure rate below the pressure where it would actually pressurize the gas into the liquid. You don't want to drink liquid oxygen. But here's what I'm saying. I feel better knowing this guy's a medical doctor and he's going through the FDA and it's all legitimate. It does make me feel better. And 40% my uncle drank and it didn't kill him. He said it was great. Didn't make him feel drunk like that other water said it made that dude feel. Remember that past video I made? And I read that thing with that hexagonal fucking thing, and it said like the kid drank it and he tried going to a bar and he felt drunk and couldn't fucking do it. Did not have that effect. So that's pretty freaking amazing right there. That means that that other one's fucked up. I don't know what that other one's doing, man. Really, I really don't know. But I'm almost not trusting it. Like, I don't want to drink something and feel drunk. I want what that guy has. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe the hexagonal one's good too. Has anyone fed plants that in North Flower Town, dude? $800. I'm not gonna waste my money, especially when this is coming out and like I don't put that money towards there and like not drink some other bullshit. I want the real deal. You know what I mean? Next time my uncle shows it to me, I might see if he can give me like a little like a few drops of it, see if I can taste that or not, or like a little tiny sip, right? Obviously, I don't want to take his medicine, but a shot glass or something. Experience it for myself. The thing though, I don't want to experience it, want it really bad, and then never be able to get it without begging for it and bothering them. So almost like I'd just rather wait. All right, this video's been on long enough. I don't want to keep it too long. All the information was in the beginning of the video anyway. I'm in it here. I got more videos coming out. Plant videos, garden updates. I'll be planting my plants outdoors soon. You'll be able to see them for the first time when I put them outside. I got like a video on my full tents when I've done full tent grows. I'm gonna show a video on when I've done the one plant that had a pound and a quarter dry weight on it after, and show how I did it on one plant in a 4x4 off of 300 watts. 300 electric sky 300. But you know what? To be honest, with the electric sky, they do say though, at full power, the electric sky is actually putting out like 600 watts that some other companies claim. So maybe you'd have to say 600 then. But it's ES 300. It's supposed to be 300 watts. But I think the output is actually around 600. They claimed, but then again, the company's out of business, so whatever. My only complaint with their light is it's too powerful. It needs to be hung like really high up for it to really work, and it's not really good for or like the mall I had. I had one of the first malls they ever came out with. Like it's a really old mall, and dude, that fucking thing is powerful, man. You got to flower your plants quick, dude. You don't want them to get real close to it. It's too powerful. Otherwise, you just have to have the light down. You know what I mean? But like, luckily there's a knob on it. But like, dude, could you even grow with full power in a tent with that fucking thing? I remember when I did with that big one I did. That's because it was so big you could take it. You know what I mean? And I think even then, I think I was cooking the buds too much with it back then, dude. Because that was one of the first grows I did with that light. And I like it. I liked it. And what other videos do I got coming out? I could show you some hash I've done. Might do that one. A bunch of plethora of stuff. Pretty much can go through all my old content and stuff that I've never put out, and show you a history of things, and then show you a live video of what I'm doing now and all that stuff. And so I got a book, an old book, and it might have leaves in it from like a long time ago, or it might not be a long time ago. But I got this old book, and like I stuck leaves in it to dry, and I got a ton of them now, and they're really cool looking pot leaves, man. Perfect, still green, like amazing, like. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool, dude. Can you sell like leaves like that? Because technically it's hemp, right? Because there wouldn't be any THC in the leaf. Dried leaves. You don't see anyone selling like that, like a frame with like a pot leaf in it. I wonder. obviously, like you'd sell it to like the general public that doesn't grow because they want to. Oh, cool! I want to hang a pot leaf on my wall. You know what I mean? All they have to do is pop a bean, cut a pot leaf off, dry it out. They don't want to do that though. They'll pay like $5 because they don't want to grow a plant. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people like that. So that'd be cool for some people to try. Here's another thing. I mean, I've given this idea out so many times. No one's taken it up on it. But I think I'm going to try doing it. People probably follow in my footsteps. I'll make scratch and sniff pot stickers so that people can have a scratch and sniff sticker, and it'll be the terpene of their favorite strains. And they can get a pack, and the pack would have a bunch of, let me tie this bag up. So the pack would have a bunch of different stickers of all these different strains in it, right? So this is how I was going to do it. And then so it will be like aromatherapy. You can have the sticker, and then to seal the aroma in the sticker, I was gonna have like a little like plastic pull off that you could do over the scratch part, or I guess the scratch and sniff would have that layer over it because I looked up how to make scratch and sniff, and there's like a layer that like stops it. Like you can make them easy. So you get the scratch and sniff stickers, and they can put one on like their phone or like somewhere they want to sniff, or like or just hold the sticker, and then they anytime during the day they can scratch it and then smell, and it's like smelling like a fresh bag of your favorite strain, like a nice dog, or like some diesel, or like some like Chem Dog 92, or like Northern Lights, or like Pineapple Express, or like all these strains, like blueberry ones, all the blueberries, the fucking awesome fruity ones, the tangerine ones, all that stuff. The skunks, you get all these different types of skunks, and it would be the actual terpene smells that you're pulling out of the bud itself and from the actual plant. So it would actually smell like unique. You know what I mean? Which would be even better. So then my idea after that was then I would get these stickers and they would be stuck on the jars of the bud that I'd be selling, so that people want to know what it smells like before they buy it. They can just scratch the top, sniff it, and they'll say, "Oh, cool, I like that," and they can smell it before they open it, right, and know what they want. That's what I want to do, and that's marketing 101. Anyone wants to use the idea is free to use it. That's hearing this, but again, people just didn't want to freaking I don't know. No one's trying it. I think it would be cool and easy to do. Imagine if we all had stickers of our shit and we were like, it was a slap, but the slap had your bud's terpenes in it as a scratch and sniff. Now, you could make your own scratch and sniff stickers with like fake smells and all this stuff. I mean, it's easy to do. You can do it. But imagine doing it with a pot plant, though. So you'd have to grow the weed out. It would have to be really fresh. Then you'd have to do like there's a process of taking the smell out. I don't want to go over it because I don't want to say the wrong way to do it. And then they add that to the stuff that coats the sticker, and it's kind of like you can like print it on or like paint it on it or something like that, and it like has like this. See, I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to give the wrong thing, but like you put something else in it so that like it makes like a layer, so you have to like scratch it at it and then you can smell it. You know what I'm saying? So it can be done. It can be done easily. That'd be kind of cool to have these stickers, aromatherapy pot stickers. How many could you make, and how cheaply could you make them, and how much money could you sell them for? Like $1 a sticker or something? I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if they were in a pot shop and it was like, or it came with your bud, and people were like, oh, I love buying their weed because they give me a scratch and sniff sticker of the bud I had. So then, even if you smoke all your weed that you bought, you could always smell the sticker and say, I remember that plant. Smell this. I smoked this last week. Like, oh man, that's amazing. Right? freaking awesome idea. Here's another idea. I mean, okay, you got the scratch and sniff Snicker. Why hasn't someone made a scratch and sniff shirt? A T-shirt where like the emblem that's printed on has like the scratch and sniff thing like painted on it like after it's done printing, so like you can kind of like rub on it and smell it, and it would be like you'd smell your shirt and smell like weed or something. That would be kind of cool too. Imagine that. Imagine if there was a shirt that you could wear that was infused with terpenes, so that as you wore it, you just stank like the most intense skunk pot you'd ever imagine. That would be fun too. I don't know. Marijuana is like there's so many things you could do with it. Once they legalize it, it'll be pretty interesting. I remember why I didn't go through with this before. It's because like I was thinking that there might be THC elements in it. I had to keep the THC out of it so it would become legal hemp, so it could actually be like sold as a hemp product. And it was just too complicated at that point. I was just like, fuck this. You know what I mean? But I might make a few for myself. I guess you could hand them out. You know what I mean, to people, because it would be counted as giving. Like you can give away bud. You could give away a sticker that might have THC in it, but it's a scratch and sniff. You're not getting high off a sticker. But you know they would probably count it as that, right? But once it's federally legal, though, I mean, then you could do it. It wouldn't matter if there was a little more THC in it than 0.3 or whatever it's supposed to be. It'd be hemp. Man, then that would be really cool. Another one would be lickables. THC lickables. This is the opposite of scratch and sniff, people. Now you're getting some grade A ideas from me. They're called lickables, THC lickables. It would be like a sticker, but like instead of scratching and sniffing it, you'd lick it, and you taste the terpene of the like cannabis. So it was like if you want to taste what the bud was like, you could like do that and you could taste it. And like you pull the terpenes that you get when you smoke it, you know what I mean? You know how when you press bud and it kind of like smells the taste, like you get the taste. The taste is preserved. You're not burning the bud and losing a lot of it, which you can still taste it in the bud, but like you can really extract it with the extractions, right? Well, it's almost like that, but you could get the taste out of there, and it would be like a lickable thing. So it'd be like you just like pull a sticker and you just lick the sticker, and it'll be like, oh man, that's so awesome. And then you could have like a little bit of THC dissolved in there too, so they get a little buzz off of it. The only problem with that, it's kind of mimicking like other illicit substance things like that like you're not allowed to do. So I don't know. That's probably not good to promote something like that. But the problem with all this is they'll say, "Oh, you're targeting children. You can't have unicorns that smell like skunk, or you can't have unicorn poop on a unicorn or something like that." I'll be like, ah, man, adults like unicorns too, man. Whatever, whatever. So, or like, what other strains would there be? Like a pineapple, and it smells like Pineapple Express, or like things like that. Wouldn't that be funny? If someone sold a unicorn poop sticker, and it was like a unicorn shitting, and when you scratched the poop and smelled it, it smelled like unicorn poop bud. And then, dare I say, it had a lickable element, and you could taste the unicorn. Now, you're not licking the poop. That would be gross. Lick the unicorn, though, and you could taste the terpenes. I'm saying that's kind of cool, like, something like that, but I don't know, I guess there's a germ aspect to it. How many people would actually buy it? and how many could you produce? It would be kind of a small niche thing, a little hobbyist type of thing. I could bounce ideas for years on this platform. Keep thinking about new shit to do with the plant. Here's one we haven't found out yet. Has anyone chocolate covered a fucking bud yet? Dip a bud in chocolate and sell it. Dude, my dad does not smoke weed, but he'll like eat a bud or two every once in a while. He likes to chew the bud and eat it. Obviously, it has to be good bud. Yeah, you're not gonna chew and eat stick, but there are people that eat the bud, and there are people that probably would have like if you sold little bits of the bud that were chocolate covered, like an M&M, and had a candy coating over it, but when you eat into it, it's like a bud inside. People would buy that. There's people that eat bud. Um, that's a product no one's doing right now. What else? What else could you do with the stuff? I mean, they could go back into making rope and clothing with it. Uh, that's huge. I don't know. That could beat the cotton industry. Yet hemp's been legal. Why hasn't it retaken over from the cotton industry? Well, I'll tell you why. Everything's made in India and all these other countries where they produce the fabrics. So you get the fabrics from them. So someone would actually have to build a fabric making facility to produce the hemp in the United States because one doesn't exist. It's all overseas. I'm sure there's some, but again, that would take big money to do that. That's why it's a shame all these like rich like millionaires, a lot of them like instead of everyone of them jumping into like the bud game, some of them should like open a factory where they're producing the clothing off of the plant fiber. They get the money to do it. No one else can do it. They're the ones that can do it. You can't get loans anymore to do anything. Good luck getting a loan for something like that. They'll regulate the hell out of it. But if you're rich, you could afford it and pay lawyers to do everything for you. Not have to worry. Not have to stress over anything. Pay everyone else to do it for you. You just fund it. What else could they do? Here's another one. Candles. Now, this one might be a little dangerous. But it'd be cool if there was a candle and you burn the candle and it had the scent of the weed in it. Like different scents in it. Like, what is that? That factory, that store that makes Yankee Candle. The Yankee Candle Company, I'm surprised they haven't made like a marijuana smell. You know what I mean? That would be cool. It would smell like whatever strains, you know what I mean? Or something like that. That would be awesome. Lotions. You see some lotions. They got the lotions down. They got the hair products down. Cosmetics. They do all that. They do all that shit. Uh, Hemp soap. Is there a way to extract the fats out of the hemp plant at a large amount, enough to make soap with it, using like the lipids and fats from the plant? I don't know. Probably some scientists could figure it out. I don't know if it's economically feasible to do that. But like, what else? Like they got the drinks, they got the food. But again, people they should make things like you eat the bud type of thing. Let's see. I wonder if people are eating sprouts. You know what I mean? Hemp sprouts. Supermarkets should start selling those. They sell all the different other sprouts, bean sprouts, different sprouts. I bet you hemp sprouts are really healthy. And if they could just mass produce seeds and just sprout them and sell them, and you just eat the sprouts, that'd be kind of cool too. I wonder if they don't do that because people would just plant them and they would have like a shit ton of plants. That'd be kind of funny actually. Plus, I think a marijuana sprout, it's like you'd have to get it really quick. And then you'd have to eat it because that shit's gonna be fucking growing in that fucking thing. Fast growing plant. But if you got it quick enough, it can be done. Yes. Here's something I want to try. I want to get a male plant and I want to graft a female plant on the male structure and see what happens. So I got a male root structure with a female on top. Would be cool to do. My guess is nothing would happen. It would just be the same. It might be even worse. I don't know. Could a male cannabis plant's roots be the same as a female plant's roots in terms of what it's going to pull up to feed itself with? You know what I mean? Because the male plants program differently, right? Because of its DNA. And what's the brain of the plant? The plant's not really anything. It's almost like this I forget what the proper word for a plant is, but it's an organism that it can just you can cut it up and it can just keep reproducing itself. It would be like if you could like cut a finger off and then you could grow another one of you and it would act and talk and be just like you. They're one of those things, but obviously not complicated like a human. You know what I mean? Because you probably can't be complicated like that to have that aspect. But so they're a type of organism that's like that. Is the better to describe them for than a plant, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. They can live forever as long as someone keeps growing the cutting. Isn't that crazy when you think about that a marijuana plant could possibly live forever or indefinitely until human accidentally kills the cutting and then the cutting is like gone. Now, how is that possible that something could live forever? It's not. It's just some sort of creature where if it splits off from itself, it becomes another creature. It's crazy. Like cells dividing almost. Like the cell's alive, but they can friggin' split and become two different ones, like viruses too. But then they fucking found out that plants can like make talk and they can like they know the presence of someone when they come around and people come around. Like there was an experiment where someone like abused a plant really bad and then left, and then when the human came back, the plant's like readings were like off the charts, crazy, like it was freaking out because it could sense the person or something like that. So that's what I was saying. How like the plant's used to human contact because humans for like thousands and thousands of years have been cultivating the plant. So now it's kind of like I don't know, the relationship between humans and the cannabis plant's an interesting thing to study if you read it, and how the plant's like people claim the plant makes itself better and throws out these different terpenes because it knows that we'll smell something or like something and then want to keep it growing. It's like a survival thing now for it, where like it'll survive if it's really special and smells awesome and really potent. And the ones that aren't usually don't get grown, right? So it's not genetically manipulated, but genetic selection, and that's done by humans. The plant has no say in it indoors. You let it outside, you let it do its thing. It's gonna revert back to nature. It's going to probably like cross with itself, and the stronger will live. And the stronger might not be the one that's the most potent, you know? So that's the thing with that. That's why last year, if you noticed, I had some plants that really weren't that potent. They were like mids. And then I had some of them that were like super frosty. You can't even see anything beyond the frost level. And they're like highly potent weed. And it all was like the same types of crosses. Like the same male crossed with all of them. But they were all different females. So they all produced different batches. And if you notice, this year I'm not growing C. I feel bad for C, but I'm not growing it because I didn't like C. It wasn't. It was a mid, and I don't know. I just wasn't into it. I could get the seeds. Like get the seeds. I got the seeds of C. So if I ever wanted to bring it back, I could. And so, sadly, C is gonna flower out its life and then be done. And I like B. I like A. But B, I'm just gonna keep it in the clone stage. So that's what I'm doing with B. B stayed clone. I got them rooted cuttings right now of B. So it'll just continue. Um, but it won't be one of the main plants this year in my garden. But the mother plant will be flowered out. It's flowering now. I just don't have an intent flowering. It's just flowering natural light. And I'm going to have to start moving in and out until I can get my tent opened up for it. But it's actually a shit show doing it that way anyway. But whatever. It is what it is. I should probably gotten another tent. But so no, those would be so it'll be pretty much like A, really liked, awesome, crazy good. D, I mean that was fucking awesome. That is in fact, I don't know. I dumped this out if this wasn't a high in here. I'd repack D. But let me just give you an aroma of D. I got a jar that's pretty large jar, less than half full, which I'm running out of D. Not much. So let me give you my first impressions of this. Oh yeah. It's got this chocolate strawberry aroma, but like a dark chocolate. And then if you think about red velvet cake, you're like, yeah, that's what it smells like. Just like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, but all these other strains are called red velvet cake and chocolate covered strawberry. But as far as I'm concerned and seen reviews on it, people aren't telling me that they're getting those terpenes from these fucking plants. It's just like how they claim the bud looks, you know what I mean? Or like, representation of quality when you say like red velvet cake is like a prestigious name, you know what I mean? Or like, don't get me wrong, I've never tried red velvet cake. Maybe it does. I've never heard of anything like it. Something actually tasting like it. I know there's strawberry terps. I don't think I've heard anyone with a chocolate terp, but I swear I've got the chocolate terp with the strawberry. And it's not just a chocolate, it's dark chocolate. And I've then bought Jack chocolate strawberries and compared them. It's exactly the smell. The exact smell of dark chocolate strawberries. No, strawberries dipped in dark chocolate. If you know that smell, that's what it smells like. It's so awesome. So that one's I kept that one, even though its THC content wasn't like crazy. It was still good. I believe I was pressing in the 20s, high 20s, while I was pressing it, or like mid 20s or something like that. Did I get 25% on that press where I did it last? That's not when it was fresh. I don't know. I should have did more of a percentage calculation when it was fresh. But I don't even think you can tell THC percentage off of pressing bud. I think it actually has to be chemically done or done with that light thing before it's actually pressed out. You have to use that spectrometer on it because that thing's real accurate apparently. So, or whatever else they do it, or whatever lab they do it in. So that's pretty good. I don't know. Who knows what it has in it, but I love the taste of it. Tastes like chocolate strawberry, Smells like the taste when you press it out. It like smells like it, tastes like it still. It's good. It's a good one. It's got to stick around. And now A and D, I do not have clones of. I'm gonna wait on that. Wait till they get big and healthy. Ah, shit. Sorry, guys. We may have almost got shut down. We got glitches. Crack screen on this. All right, I'm gonna end it now before it just shuts down. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. I've ranted on. I'll fix my screen. Hey, get up there.